Tell you it's that kind.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I put my glasses on, but I think I'm gonna have to take them off.
Very nice. So your office is all set up.
Yeah, I was up late last night getting it together.
Awesome.
Have you seen how we moved into this house? And
No.
my life, well, I shouldn't say my life, but my home life has been a shit show. So we bought this house in Auburn, where I don't know if you know where Auburn is.
Of course, I'm from I'm from Reno, but I live in Santa Cruz, so I'm always taking that route.
Okay, so we bought, it's a little under a half an acre.
Okay.
And we got it for like a steal, right? But the inside of the house looked like hoarders lived in it. Like it was horrible.
Yeah.
So we gutted everything, like literally pulled everything out. So I have a half a kitchen and a half a bathroom. And I have literally been doing all my office work on my porch.
So you're living in it while doing those renovations?
Yes, because my other half will
worst.
not rent something and do it at the same time. He's like,
Right.
we're not gonna. And I'm like, oh, so thank God I travel a lot.
Yes. Yes.
I think I'd kill him.
Yeah. So you're going to stay in like nice hotel rooms and he can just worry about all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Can you hear me okay? I don't know if my microphone is on or if it's through my computer.
Yeah. No, sounds good on our end.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't think it's linked to this, so I won't put it on.
Okay.
How are you?
I am good. Just got back from Arte, as you know, which I can't say I can't believe we didn't see each other, but there were so many people I ended up not seeing. I was kind of regretful. I was like, damn it, I missed all these people that I could have seen. But
well, I know. And then Soraya went out and she was like, you need to come. We have backstage. We have this. And I was zapped.
Yeah.
I was like, I cannot go out. There's no way. I have to get up in the morning. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like an old lady now. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, you missed a fun night. We had a good time. It was it's just so packed and it's almost overstimulating. I mean, I get that because I was there for Halloween with my daughter. We were there a few days and then I came back for this and like you, like on Sunday though, I was like, I am just staying in bed because my flight wasn't until Monday and watching football all day and not talking to anybody and not doing anything. I just need to decompress.
No, I get it.
Yeah, because also I was flying back here and now I'm flying to Emily's event on Saturday. So it's kind of like, catch up and then go again.
Nice. Yeah, I went there to Nashville for EOS and then came back home. So tell Emily I said hi.
Oh, you're not going to that one?
No, I'm not. I have been back to back with EOS. So
implementing or conferences?
No, implementing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, I can't complain. I mean, it's phenomenal, but
yeah.
It's you know what it is. It takes a toll on you when you travel a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Yes, and that's what I've been going through. But then, after hearing Andy, it was like, just get your goddamn discipline in. And I'm reframing it. I'm glad this is happening for me, not I have to do this, and just trying to change my outlook on it a little bit. Because I was like you, I was just sort of physically, mentally getting a little worn down from all the travel. But
you need to take care of yourself too.
Right. So I, on Monday, I started a 3-day fast because I was like, my diet's been out, my exercise has been out. What's the fastest way for me to slam in my discipline? Boom. I wasn't even planning on doing it. But then after a day, after 2, I'm like, shit, might as well go 3. So,
Jesus.
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't done that before. I give you kudos.
You've never intermittent fasted?
Well, I intermittent, but not for 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
Like you didn't eat for 3 days or just intermittent fasted for 3 days?
Didn't eat for 3 days. I finally ate today, like right before, because I knew I had 3 podcasts today. I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat a bowl of keto oatmeal, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, the magic, like where the big gains come from is like on that 3rd day. So yeah. But sometimes we'll do it like Soraya. We'll do like a little group of us as a cheerleading group. We'll do it. I'll let you know if you ever want to try it.
The only time I fast that long is when I do journey work with my shaman.
Yes.
You just can't eat anything anyway.
So you could do it. You've done it.
Good.
Under the right circumstances. I know it's funny. I mean, it's not funny. Well, for me, it's funny, but my daughter kind of jammed me up on it because I was like, oh, back in the day, in order to fast, I had to do math. Now I could just do it naturally.
There you go.
And she's like, Mom, that's not funny. There's people with eating disorders, and that just sounds kind of like, uncaring. And I'm like, well, I mean, it's healthy for you not eating. It's just, I don't know. So I have to be
It,
cautious in how I frame things.
it's the generation. I
Right.
think they're just kind of more sensitive.
Exactly. Exactly. Whereas, we can find the humor in hard situations. That's how we get through them.
That one, I agree.
Yeah. So how are you? We're just going, just so you know, and then we'll talk for an hour. It's not official interviewing, but we just kind of talk and hang out and
Okay, sweet. I like it. I didn't even know we were live. Hey, great.
well, it gets edited around, so you never know what's going to end up in there and whatnot. So,
I
so
like
be careful. No.
it. No, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, doing good. I mean, just traveling a lot. But you know what? The best thing about it is that I love, and this has come, and I'm sure you're the same way, is it comes back from when I first started business, is the fact of being able to help people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was in the skin, I don't know if you know, but I've been in the skin industry it will be 24 years this next year.
Wow. You
So
do have phenomenal skin.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. For a grandma, I'm doing pretty good, huh?
I
Uh,
can't even believe you're a grandma. That blows me away.
they're having twins. Did you hear that?
What?
Again, and they're having
Oh,
twins. So
oh,
we're gonna have 3 little ones. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I would have been freaking crazy if that happened.
yeah.
Um,
Wow.
but I mean, I was a young mom. So we'll just go back. So I worked in a skin clinic for 4 years under this German lady, right?
Hmm.
So I didn't have discipline, I think, until I really started working for her. So if you know any German people,
Yes.
like they are sticklers, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so, I mean, she whipped me into shape really quick. And it wasn't that, I was lackadaisical, but I mean, I was definitely orientated after I started working with her and structured. And I would work with her for about 6 days. And then on the 7th day, I would clean houses because it
Mm.
was just me raising my son. And about 4 years into that, she wanted to retire and offered me the company.
Wow.
And so I went and got a woman-owned SBA loan, came up with the money to put the deposit down, and at age 24, I bought my first $1 million company.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. So after that, I'm sure just like every entrepreneur, we knew hard work, we knew dedication. I owned a job, not a company.
Yeah.
And when 2008 market hit, I went bankrupt and I lost
Uh-oh.
everything.
Oh, because you put everything in it,
Well, it
everything
wasn't
you
that.
had.
If I had it structured like a company, which should have been structured, I'm sure that I would have pushed through it because it
Okay.
wasn't that I lost a lot of clients. It was that at age 24, I just didn't know how to structure. So I was living
Mm.
beyond my means, right?
Yeah.
And so then that crashed. I mean, it was a learning lesson. It's just like everything in life, right?
Sure.
And then I rebuilt that company and got that going, and then went through a massive divorce and had to claim bankruptcy again because he was coming after the company.
Mm.
And I rebuilt it again. And
Which is hard to do when you have no credit.
no,
When they take everything from you, that's not an easy feat.
not. But it's all about the connections you have and the people you have. And
Yep.
I was blessed that I knew some really good people that owned properties.
Yeah.
So I was able to get in there and get it going again. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is the long story is that I love helping people. And the reason why I started doing like the EOS coaching is because with building the third company, which is the
Mm.
electrical company, we started implementing EOS. And I learned so much discipline from that to
Yeah.
put into the companies that I just feel like now traveling and doing this and helping them, I'm able to help the people that were where I was, because the economy right now is, I mean, this is definitely another era, right?
Right.
Uh,
100%.
and if people can get the structure in right now and push through this, like Ed Milet says, right? This is the time to go. This is the time to go. And
Yep.
if you can get that in, man, you're gonna go right through this. Is it gonna be difficult? Of course, but you're still gonna be able to push through it, you know? So
Yeah.
for me, and just like you, um, I just love to help people. And that's our gift. I mean, that's all of our gifts. That's
Yep.
what we're here on earth for, is to
Yep.
help,
Yes.
encourage, you know? Your story, what you've went through is gonna help and inspire so many people, as
Mm.
well as something that I went through,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And, I just wish sometimes people would get out of their own ways and realize, in order to be a good leader, in order to be an entrepreneur, in order to just be a good person, it's all about helping other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Service. Well, I
Yeah.
think that's why we both like Arte so much because that's Ed and Andy's purpose. That's their whole goal. And if you didn't do like a little diving on that, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that from Andy at all, like with what, his first form and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But that is their purpose too. And I think that's why it attracts like all of us like minded people.
Yeah. I have a story. I have to tell you a story about Andy. So, I started with First Form like I was one of the first Legionnaires that they had back then.
Oh, wow.
And so back then they would fly you to the headquarters and you would get personal training with them.
Oh,
And Emily and I became really good friends from it. And so she invited me back to the house with them. And I remember kind of having a meltdown about my clinic at that time. Like, it's a lot of work, it's this
mm.
and that. And I remember Andy looking right at me and he was like, "So you want to work for somebody else who's going to tell you what to do?" And I was like, "Well, no." He's like, "Stop bitching. It's really not that big of a deal." And he kept going on. And I was like, "He's right. I'm being a little bitch."
I know he has such a way of just like checking you hard. That's why I did the 3-day fast. When he was talking about discipline, 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 I'm like, oh, is he talking to me right now?
Yeah, right? And I'm like, okay. 'Cause I never gave up.
Yeah, I love that. But again, a lot of people respond in the manner that you and I do. For us, we're old school. We're like, yeah, okay, you're right. I know. And I think, like you said, the newer generation, they would be like so offended. They would be like, who the fuck's this dude? And you just hurt my feelings.
I know. I'm blessed. My son isn't like that because I was very straightforward. And so I am truly, truly blessed. But let me tell you, a lot of people that are around him or any of his friends, they are not that way and at all. And I'm thinking, what have we done to these kids?
Yeah, I think a lot of it stems from the fact that some of us grew up, a lot of us hard, independent, not a lot of money, not a lot of parents there because they were working to support us. And in our minds, it was hard, like compared to what it's like now. And so I know for myself, I always want to give my kids like what I didn't have and make it easier for them because I knew how hard it was on me. But then you go, well, wait, what am I really preparing them for the world when I'm busting my ass to give them everything? And they're just like, okay, why aren't you doing more?
Yeah, it's true.
And,
It's
and I'm not saying like my kids in particular, because mine are pretty great as well. But that's kind of, I think, what's happened to this generation is those of us that had it hard, we wanted to make it so our kids didn't have it hard. And now they don't know how to have it hard.
well, but I do that with my son. Like, for instance, we just found out that they're having twins, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Mom, we live paycheck to paycheck." And I'm like, "Well, Gabe, I did at that age too. Like, it's going to work out. I promise you." But as a mother, we want to do a little bit more. And as we've built our companies, I'm like, well, maybe I can buy a house there and then they can rent it back and they can do all this. And then he comes back at me. He's like, "No, I want to do it myself."
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, damn, kid, like, that is great. But then it comes back on you like, okay, yeah, I'm disabling them sometimes, right?
Yes.
Causing them to be this way.
Yes. And it is a tricky balance. Like I'm fortunate, same with my son as well. Like his student loans, he decided to go to Baylor, which is a very expensive school in Texas. And I was like, we've got some little scholarship. I don't have a lot set aside. He's like, look, this needs to be my loan
Yeah.
because I need to take responsibility for it so that I take this education seriously and I don't just piss this away.
Yeah.
And he's taking out all these loans. And I'm like, oh my God, you're going to have so much debt when you leave school. But that's what he needed to do. And, I go through the guilt like all these other parents are paying for their kids, a college education. I should have been in a better position to do that. But it's probably the right thing to do for him and for me to
Yeah.
put him in that position where now he's got to bust his ass to pay that back until, he gets to that point.
Respect it. He's going to respect the school more.
Right.
Right.
And
And
the education and the work ethic, all of it.
absolutely. Yeah. It's hard to be a mom sometimes. Sometimes I think like we kind of like, I don't want to say fucked ourselves, but sometimes we did in the fact of we took on all these roles to be masculine and feminine
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes I look back and I think, man, like we do it all. And sometimes I think I can understand sometimes why men do feel like demasculated by certain things, right?
Yeah.
We've created that in our society sometimes with the female. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm the same way though. I'm very alpha driven, but yeah, so it has to be a hard rule sometimes for them.
For sure. And I noticed like my daughter saw that in me and now she wants nothing more than to just be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm like, okay, do I feel insulted? Like, sometimes you want your kids to want to do what you do. But, for her, it's not for her. And she's like, I just want to be that role of a woman, taking care of her man, taking care of the kids. Like, I don't want to do all this shit that you're doing.
Yeah. No, I love it.
Yeah.
And for her to be her own person is amazing. And
Yeah.
that's what you need to create, you know?
Yes.
Let them do their journey in their life the way that they want it. I know.
Yeah. Well, and that happens with kids, right? They either want to follow directly in their parents' path or they kind of want to do the exact opposite. And there's not usually like a bunch in between. It's like one or the other. I'm going to be like you or I'm going to be nothing like you.
Yes, I was absolutely wanting to be completely opposite.
Same. Same in every way. I'm like, I will not. And here we are.
I know, I know. So what was your biggest takeaway in the RT event?
Oh man, there was so many. I like Ed's triggers, because I think that's a constant thing. Like I go up and down in the flow state where everything is happening right for me, and then all of a sudden it's not. And it's like for me to get those techniques of how to put myself back there when times are tough or things go bad or you fall out of this like state that he discussed. It was a great reminder for me, and I really need to practice with these triggers, cementing them in like he talked about. So for me, that was my biggest thing in applying. And then, of course, the discipline with Andy. It's not like anything we don't know, but it was a swift kick in my ass about, okay, so you're traveling a lot. You're gone. You're on the road. You're this, you're that. You're not in control of what the food you eat. So how do you instantly put yourself back in control? And that makes me feel good when I'm being super disciplined. So that was good for me.
I think you and I are very similar. I like discipline. I like structure. Things are chaotic. I'm chaotic.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. And when we travel, we don't have our structure. When I'm at home, I was like, I've got my beautiful routine. I wake up, I do my meditation, I do my visualization, I do my affirmations, I get in my sauna, I do my cold plunge. I've got my whole routine. It's so amazing and beautiful. But then when I'm away from it, it's like, I hate hotel gyms. I am not going to go down and try this elliptical shit that I don't know how to do. Maybe if there's a CrossFit gym, which I did on Monday, I'll go there. But yeah, it's difficult for me to maintain that same sort of regimen on the road.
Yeah, it's hard. Do you know who Dr. Gabrielle Lyon is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She's amazing.
So she's one of like my best friends. And I've been working with her for a long time. And she told me, she's like, you know what? When you travel, find somebody out there that is a really good trainer and just book a session with them when you're out there. Just one session and just let them give it to you. She's like, and then it's perfect for the whole travel. Like, because then your body goes into repair mode and you have to do everything afterwards, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, you know what? That's such a great idea. So I try to plan it before I travel now and find somebody just to kick my butt when I'm out there. And that's helped me a lot.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, since I am going out to St. Louis, I should ask Emily, like, who can kick my ass on on Sunday morning before the conference starts? Like,
Yeah.
instead of me just laying in bed watching football, which I love to do, like, who can kick my ass on a Sunday morning?
Yeah. Who can give it to me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I love that.
no.
I love her whole philosophy because I've always been this huge protein meat eater. Don't care what my blood type tells me, which says I should be vegetarian. I don't believe in any of that shit, but I love her stance on it because it just makes so much sense for me and with me. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, I need to lose weight. I'm going to cut my red meat. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like we come from cavemen. This is what we did. This is who we are. Like why does that make sense to you?
I agree with you completely. And the one thing too, and I don't want to offend anybody or get feedback or, feedback from anybody, but protein and vegetable protein, right, is not the same type of protein.
Right.
So you don't have all your full amino acids to repair your muscles. So if you're vegan, you have to make sure that you're getting all adequate amounts of your amino acids to get that full protein. And a lot
Mhm.
of times you don't get it. So you're missing it, right? And it's just like BCAAs, which I'm sure you know BCAAs and EAAs, right?
Yeah.
Well, BCAAs are still missing some amino acids in it, where EAAs have your full potential,
Mm.
has your full realm of spectrum in there, right?
Right.
So I agree with you.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
there's just so much misinformation out there, and it's unfortunate because people think they're doing the right things. They think they're making healthy choices, and they're not in our best interest. You know,
Yeah.
you look at the food pyramid, you look at all the different things that have been told fat free, all these things throughout the time that we're told they were good for us are really not good for us. And that's why America looks the way it looks.
Yeah. And a lot of the plant based that's out there, like, and I say this to everybody, female and males now, like the younger generation does not have testosterone anymore
Mm, hmm.
at all. Because if you look at the way that they look from the kids from our age group or our parents' age group, they don't have the girth and the muscle and everything else that they have, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of that is from our food. It's inadequacy of our food giving the proper or our hormones in it, and it's actually messing a lot of the hormones and testosterone up for people in general. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, and that's such a valid point. It's funny. I was at the dinner with Andy and Ed, and we're all sitting around the table. And that became like the big topic was testosterone. And like literally everyone at that table was supplementing testosterone because they had their levels checked and they were like through the bottom.
yeah,
And a lot of these are older people. So you would expect that at some point. But like you said, it's kind of the norm. And supplementing that isn't a bad thing. That's a good thing. It's not going to give you rage and all these other things, but it's just going to help you.
yeah. And it's so funny. So my other half, I'm a pro bodybuilder, even though I haven't competed in about a year. But my other half, like wherever we go, and he's like, that person needs testosterone. That person needs testosterone. That would be a better person if it just took testosterone. And I would die laughing, but it's true if you think about it. If you look at like the older generation, like our age group is, I don't want to say we're getting up there, but we're getting up there. But you look at the older people and the people that have actually weight trained, went on hormones, did the things that they were supposed to, they have more muscle mass, more bone density than the regular people that are aging. Like they're breaking bones, they're
Right.
having all of these issues, right?
Right.
And we are not getting it in our food anymore, so we have to supplement.
Yeah. Well, and you hear testosterone, you think man, but it applies to women as well,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
which
I have to be careful because you kind of sometimes I do bald.
uh,
So,
we have our challenges as women.
uh,
more,
we do.
more than men, I would say, but that,
Yeah,
it is
I
what it
agree. I agree with that completely.
is.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. So, I mean, I do want to talk about a little bit. I know that I talked to you a little bit about the retreat that I'm doing.
Hmm.
You don't mind chatting about that? I started it just from EOS coaching. And the biggest thing is entrepreneurs can't get out of their own way,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of us, when you told me like you do meditation and you do visualization and you do a lot of this, and what I coach on a lot is this is key. These are key factors. Like
Yeah.
if we don't know who we are internally and we can't grow through our obstacles that we've had in life to help other people, we end up being our bottlenecks in life. We
Right.
end up repeating these cycles over and over, right? And I was in a meditation within myself, and this was maybe this had to have been about a year ago. And well, no, it was longer than that because I was meditating about doing something with women, and then Amy Suman and I were talking about the women of Apex, right?
Mhm.
Built the women of Apex. And then after that, I do a lot of stuff comes to me when I meditate. And I
Yeah.
don't know if you're that way, where a
Yeah.
lot of like all your little passions come in, right? And then I started meditating and I was like, you know what? I feel like I need to help. All of the stuff that I've worked on, like we should be helping and giving to other people. And so I just created this fun little get together with like a couple women, like out of the blue, not even thinking of putting it together. And it was phenomenal. We just did like a lot of good inner work, a lot of visualization, and coming out of that like crystal clear of where we want to be in 10 years,
Mhm.
who we want to be in 10 years, what is the path to get us there, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it was phenomenal. And I know you are doing a lot of work, internally and externally and helping people. And what is like the biggest thing that you get away from meditating?
For me, it's calming it down, my brain, because I'm such a mental person, think, 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 think. So it's finding that peace where I can like push away the thinking. And that
Yeah.
took so many years to develop that skill because I was like, it's never going to go away. I'm just a mental thinker. That's who I am.
Yeah.
But you can get there, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of practice. So for me, I like the peace that
Yeah.
opens up the space. And like you said, then the good stuff sort of floods in, the ideas. And then it's the discipline to not stop what I'm doing. Oh my God, that's amazing. Let me write it down and let it just kind of keep flowing in there.
I know. I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I totally get it. Yeah, because it's funny, you wanna sit and write it down, or you wanna text somebody really quick of a
Yeah.
thought you had,
Yeah.
right? No, I
Yeah.
get it. I
But you
know.
gotta write out and like I think with our lives that are so chaotic, being and we teach this in my program, mindfulness, being in the present, like being able to anchor yourself in the present and not worrying about what
Yeah,
the hell is happening with the economy. Oh my God, is this gonna happen? Oh, should I be doing this? What did I should I really spend the money on that? Like just being able to shut all that stuff out and just be in
yeah.
the present moment is just amazing.
So tell me about that. I didn't know what is it that your program?
So from the day clients come into the program, we have them start working on mindfulness. And at first it's just 5 minutes a day. And a lot of times they can't even sit. And they're when they come in, they're in detox. So they're on medication. So it's even more difficult to kind of get them to just sort of be at peace. But it's building up that muscle and that habit. And so we have them do it day after day after day after day. So the entire time they're in the program, they're doing mindfulness. And on most days, like Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday, it's 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a mindfulness walk. Sometimes there's like a little bit of guiding in the beginning, but we're teaching them how to make this a habit in their life so that when they are triggered out there, they are around people that are doing stuff that makes them want to drink or use, they can find their breath. They can
Yeah.
anchor themselves in the moment. They cannot, be tempted and they can get themselves through that because we're not going to be there. We can't provide this bubble wherever they go. And so we got to teach them to sort of provide that for themselves. And
No.
then obviously, like I mentioned with myself, the other big thing is a lot of addicts live in the past, their stories, their guilt, their shame, their this, their that. And we don't subscribe to that. We're not telling our war stories and here's what I did and here's my story. We're like,
Yeah.
cool, good, work through that. Now let's only focus on the present, being in the now, being in the here. And so for those reasons, we have that as an integral part of our program. Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know how intricate it was, and I think that's beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, no.
It
You're
is, and
you're
it's free, and anyone can do it, but you gotta be patient enough to get to that point where you see the benefit of it as
yeah,
well, just like anything.
yeah, and wanna do it, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I know. I know that I've told you this before, but I work with a shaman, I have for a while, and they deal with a lot of this too.
yeah,
They're, really working with people and, working through all of, what they do. I think, they do, a lot of PSD or PTSD,
yeah,
and people like that, but, I mean, I've seen amazing work,
yeah.
just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's becoming a new and kind of popular thing for, entrepreneurs and really anybody, because I think we're realizing if we don't handle that trauma or whatever it was, it's just going to continue to plague us and keep us back. So it's really cool to see a lot of people reaching for that sort of Eastern medicine as opposed to the Western medicine, which just says medicate it and forget about it.
Yeah, you can't do that. The
Mhm.
one thing that I've realized, and you can critique me if you don't think so, but on our lives, we repeat cycles over and over,
Agreed.
right? And
Yep.
it can show up in different ways in our life, but the same cycle.
Yes.
So it can happen in relationships, it can happen in business, it can, it's almost like we get to a point to where then we self-sabotage,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then we repeat that cycle and over. And it's almost like we're here on earth to learn these cycles, to understand what we do, heal from them, work through them, and not go through them again, right? It's
Yep.
almost like they call it the generational cycles that we get, right? Or whatever it may be. But, I truly feel that. And it's funny how it shows up in so many different avenues in our lives, but it really boils down to the same story we're telling ourselves about ourselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that includes limiting beliefs. It's the same toxic person, like you said, in a relationship. Like I have a friend where it's like, I've seen her with the same guy like 8 different times. It's just like keeps manifesting. I'm like, at what point are you gonna go, I'm better than this. I deserve better than this.
Yes.
Like, stop the cycle. We see it with addiction. It's like you got to stop the cycle of,
Mhm.
my dad was an alcoholic, so I'm gonna be an alcoholic. My dad hit me, I'm gonna hit my kid. You just gotta stop the cycle somehow, some way. And a lot of times it's so I guess you just don't even know it's there. You need like these types of things to put your awareness there and get you positive over it.
Yeah, to understand and yeah, and really change that cycle because we're the
Right.
only people that do it. I mean,
Right.
we do it to ourselves, knowing
Yeah.
that setting those boundaries, knowing that we're worth more than this, right? Because we are. That's why we're here,
Yeah.
or we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So, no, I
I
know.
love that. And I think that's where your retreat and similar to what I do, there's just the power in the group because you're sitting around people being vulnerable, you're sharing and you're getting feedback that says, "You know what? You're better than that. You're a good person." And they see things in you that you don't even see in yourself. So there's so much power in that group like what you're doing where you're visualizing futures and you're doing it together. That combined energy just is like a super turbo boost in
It is,
getting you there.
yeah, and then having the family around you to get you through that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I know after our last retreat, we put together this huge text thread, and we're literally always on it every day, if not every other day. And if somebody's having a bad time, they post on it and we're all there. And,
Mhm.
that's what it is. But it's just like the Arte. It's just like the Apex. It's the family we create, right? And
Yeah.
allowing those people in our lives. And once you say, I'm worthy of this, you
Yeah.
attract that vibration into your life. You attract the good people into your life. And the people that
Mhm.
don't belong there anymore will start to further away, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. And that's it was funny, literally just the podcast I did, same thing. This guy had been kind of screwed over by people, but then it's because he was growing and he needed to shed those people. And that happens to us over and over again. I mean, at our age, it's happened a lot, I'm assuming with you as well as myself, but we're
Right.
just growing at different rates. And you can't like constantly be trying to pull everybody up to you. You gotta like, it's good to help people and put them on the right path, but you've also got to keep yourself in the best way to keep growing higher and higher.
Exactly. And that's the
Yeah.
same thing, like, with business coaching, EOS coaching. So
Yeah.
EOS is like foundation. So I go in and I set the org chart, accountability charts, right? The KPIs, the blueprints, like structure
Yeah.
the leadership team, the core values, all that. But the thing is that if you get in, and this is just like with anybody else, and even could be parents, for instance, when I'm talking about that, when you
Yeah.
go in and you set that foundation in, if the leader doesn't follow that foundation and
Yeah.
keeps it going, they will never excel. They will keep going, bashing down over and over and repeating that cycle. But when you
Yeah.
go in and you organize, you can excel to any level. And that's even just being a parent, right? Having
Right.
good foundational rules that you follow.
Yeah. Well, and I think, because we've been on EOS for probably 6 years now, 7 years, something like that. But I want to say it's a lot is an implementer. I didn't know you back then, but we spent a lot of money on like a good implementer that we actually traveled to, as opposed to the guy who just started doing it in our backyard,
Yeah.
because we knew this was setting the foundation. And what you're doing, it's not just a business thing. Like, I have so much admiration for you, because you're almost like counseling. Like,
Oh
our
yeah.
first couple sessions were a little strenuous while we were trying to figure out who fits in what role, the upsets that come with that, the loss of control if I can't be doing this. And there's
Yeah.
a lot you have to navigate as an implementer, that is like counseling. It's not just business, it is counseling to
Yes.
get the best result.
Yes. I'm glad that you did it. I didn't know that you guys implemented EOS.
Oh yeah.
And
I,
that's
I don't know how we would be functioning as a business
that's
without
what
it.
I say.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly why you are where you are, is
Yeah.
because of that. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
Such a great implementation.
It is. It is. And I don't know what we would do without it. The core values, we've had that in place. I'm the integrator. But I've like taken the test, and I'm like one of those rare people that's like sort of 50-50. I'm like half visionary, half integrator. I think in the future, especially with all my travel, I would love to be just the visionary. So I trust my guys to take that over, but we'll see how that goes.
That's okay. That's a good role, though. I mean,
It
you
is. I
also,
love it, because I like to have the final word. So it's the perfect one. No matter where I am, the final word's going to come from me. So it's perfect.
I get it. I get it.
I know I act like I just want to be a visionary, but at the end of the day, do I really, or do I really just want to have the final word?
That's funny, 'cause a lot of people don't do the 50-50 mark. I'm the 50-50 mark too.
Yeah.
So that's funny. We're a rare breed, honey.
I agree. I agree. And I like both equally. And that's why it's interesting. When I took the test, I wasn't surprised. I'm like, yes, I'm very much visionary, but I very much like to control everything at the same time.
No, I love it. I love it. No, it's
Yeah.
such a great conversation. I love
Ah,
it.
I love it. So like on your name, it says EOS life coach. Was
Yeah.
that, so is that the life coaching you bring into EOS, or that's a separate hat you wear?
So I brought that in because I like to always do a Jen spin on everything. That's what I
Yeah.
always say is I love EOS. I love the structure, but I can really, so from owning different companies and understanding how EOS works with certain things, I changed it because I feel like it's personal as well, right? I can go in and help a company,
Yeah.
but realistically, like I have to do one-on-ones with the visionary. I have to do one-on-ones with the integrator. And that also means tapping into what's going on at home, tapping in on
Mm,
what's going on in their life, right? And hence that's why I created the retreat part of it for the women, right?
yeah.
And I just thought to myself, you know what? I don't feel like I'm an 100% EOS implementer. I mean, I am, but I do a little bit more because I care and I want more, and I want them to build and be foundationally set at home as well as in business. So I kind of like integrate it all. So if you asked a lot of the people I work with, we go in and we do our quarterlies, we do all of that, but I also reach out and I speak to the visionary one-on-one, the integrator. And if they have people in their leadership team that need to call and chat, like I hop on the phone with them and I walk them through things and I help them. And I don't know, I guess it's just been one of my gifts that I enjoy doing. And so I thought, you know what, I'm always going to put a Jen spin to it. So I'm not
I
gonna be
love it. I mean, I wish I had it when I went through mine because we had so many issues that came up that I would have loved that. I would have loved that one-on-one. I think it would have made it a quicker process to get all this stuff in for sure. More personal for sure.
absolutely, yeah, and more people need it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I come in and people have their shit together right away, and some people, it's like their leadership team just needs to be encouraged a little bit more, but I started doing, which I really enjoy, and I'm now starting to do this for a couple other companies, and I don't see a lot of implementers doing this, is I come and I work with their leadership team until I probably get them to about the second quarter, and like,
Mhm.
then we start to roll out EOS throughout the company.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of them are having me come in for 2 days. So I come in for their quarterly, and then
Wow.
I'll stay the second day and work with their leadership team.
Oh, that's awesome.
So then we start implementing it. So I'm working with his name's Brandon, and he owns a couple different companies, but it's like a real estate company, and he has new construction, then he has a couple different things. So I'll come in and I'll work with the leadership team, and then I'll stay a day and I'll work with all of their new construction people
Oh,
and start
wow.
walking in the L10s in there, teaching them their own scorecard, doing
Yeah.
all of that. And so it takes away the stress from the owners, right?
Right, especially when they're just learning it themselves.
Yeah.
That way they're not misduplicating what they learned down the line, like it's being put in correctly.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
Yeah. So I've been doing that. And I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah,
I thought, you know what? If I can help the whole team, I might as well. I mean, that's what I'm here for. So
right.
yeah, I've been doing that, and I haven't heard of anybody else really doing it. And
No,
so that kind of excites me. That's been something new that's been fun. Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
a great benefit because, yeah, we just did the leadership and then we just started imparting it down the line and they imparted it down the line, but I could just see what an amazing benefit this would, again, kinda like the other, just turbo boost
Yeah.
where you need to go without it being this slow, sort of drawn out, "Well, now once these guys have it in, then we'll get it in down here, and once they have it in." Yeah, it can be a slow process if you have a large company and a lot of employees.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So enjoy that. I know I've been brainstorming. I
Mm,
meditated the other day and brainstormed, and I thought to myself, you know what? I should probably start something small in the local areas
mhm.
and actually walk them through how to self-implement. So do like you remember like you do a focus day, which is like your first day.
Yeah,
So I would do a focus day for people to come in and to self-implement in their companies, and I walk them through how to personally do that.
that's
Because I
cool.
thought, you know what? A lot of people cannot afford a coach or an implementer.
Right.
And if I could help benefit more people, might as well do that, you know?
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about it. It's brand new in my mind, so we'll see.
I think that's super smart. I think even if you did it in Dallas, like when the Apex meetings are, there's so many people in our group. I'm surprised that aren't operating on EOS. And I think a lot of people would take advantage of that, or they should. And I would definitely encourage them to do so.
There's a lot of people that say they have it all together, and we all don't have it together.
No, I mean, there's still plenty I don't have together that I could learn from. And I've been doing it, what, six,
Yeah,
7 years now. So for sure.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So
So
where's
what's,
go
oh, go
ahead.
ahead.
Nope, go.
Oh, I was gonna say, so what does your workout routine look like? You said, you were doing the bodybuilding for so long. How do you come off of that and what do you do now?
So I've been competing for it will be 7 years.
Wow.
Actually, yeah, in October will be 7 years. Well, it's already past October. Um, so I did my first show. I don't know if I ever told you this. I did my first show, and just because I wanted to get in shape and lose, baby weight and kind of get down, and even though my son was a lot older, baby weight. Uh,
I get it. I had it too. I carried it for many years.
so I did my first show, and my husband at the time was like totally against this.
Oh,
Just like, I don't want to support you in a bikini on stage, blah, blah, blah. And if you're anything like me, I'm like, oh, okay, well, now I'm going to do it even more. Right.
right.
So,
An even smaller bikini.
yeah,
Thanks.
right. So I did my first show and I placed third.
Wow.
And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go for my pro card. And I remember him telling me, you're not going to compete again. This is your last show. Like, you did it. whatever. And I was like, okay. So I went to get my pro card.
Yeah.
And I remember everybody telling me, oh, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. It takes people 10 years to get it. And I just thought to myself, fuck you. I'm going
Yeah.
to do it. And I went to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I actually won my pro card that day.
That's amazing. I'm just a quick little thing. That's exactly how I am. Tell me I can't do it, and I'll be like, that is all the motivation I need is somebody tell me it can't be done or I can't do it. And then
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck you.
absolutely. And so actually the way that I'm in Apex now is because I came on to First Form after I got my pro card. And that's
Mm.
how it all trickled out with everything else with Andy, Emily,
Oh,
and Apex. But so then I started just really competing constantly back to back. And I've always did really well, but I never wanted to put on huge amount of muscle, like a lot of, for figure. So I was figure. If you look at figure now, they're like bodybuilding, right?
right.
And I didn't want to do that. But getting back to your question is, I was getting ready for the Arnold Australia. I got accepted, and 3 weeks before the Arnold Australia, this is when I was going through my divorce and everything else. I came down with shingles.
Oh, oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
3
I
weeks.
hear that is just
Really,
excruciating.
that was horrible.
Yeah.
And I got it on my side of my stomach. And I remember everybody telling me, like, don't do it, just quit, don't. And I was like, I'm going to Australia. Like, if I die getting there, like, it's okay. Like, I got accepted there. Like, this is an honor. And so I don't know how the hell I did it,
Oh,
but I trained through shingles. And I remember going to bed at night just crying, wishing I never woke up in the morning. Like, it hurt so bad.
oh my God.
And I pushed through it. And I mean, I went to Australia. I competed. I didn't do the best. I think I came out like 12th place out of 19 females, because I was still kind of swollen in my midsection.
Mm.
But I
And
was,
you're literally being judged on your body.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was competing with top-notch girls from magazines and this and that. And it was just so rewarding that I was able
Yeah.
to do that. Right. And
Yeah.
so ever since that show, every show I get, no joke, 3 weeks before I compete, I get shingles.
That's so crazy.
Every show. And so this last show, I was like, you know what? I'm out for a while. So I
It's a
haven't,
sign. Yeah. Yeah.
your body's just tapped. I mean, you go down to 4% body fat, you're on supplements on top of it. So your body's just like, what, and we're driven. So it's not like I can just sit at home and eat and train. Like, I run businesses on top of
Yeah.
it. Right.
Yeah.
So you just
Yeah.
have to listen to yourself. But no, I
Or
work.
listen to your body. Yeah. Your body's telling you something, even though your brain isn't, your body is.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
So I actually have taken out a little bit less this year, and I really only go to the gym and train like 3 times a week. I've
Mm.
given myself like a really good break.
Yeah.
And I've been doing more like Pilates, things like that. But I miss the gym. I mean, I remember even just saying a week ago, maybe I'll compete again, like, because you get
Oh,
the itch.
yep.
But yeah, it's a lot.
It is. It's a big part of your life when, I mean, you've got grandkids coming now, like it's more grandkids.
And it's not healthy. I mean, competing is not healthy.
Yeah,
So
you even have to limit your water intake, right? Like before the event so that you're not retaining water. I especially imagine for women because that's what we do.
yeah. So we carb deplete right before. So I work with George Farah. And so we carb deplete. And then what we do is we start to carb load before the show, and then
Mhm.
we deplete the water. So what happens is a lot of times when you deplete your carbs, your muscle bellies get smaller. So you
Okay.
look tiny, like you don't look like you're defined, right? And then what happens is now you start water depleting, which shrinks your tissues of your skin. So it tightens your tissues, but then now you start carb loading. So when you carb load, now it's filling the muscle bellies out, right?
Oh,
So it's almost like your skin's shrinking, then your muscles are getting full. And then before you go on, you really pump your muscles like as much as you can, and
yeah.
then just fill out. So a lot of times, like what you look on like stage, after one meal and water, it's like totally gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very
I mean,
interesting.
that's how it is just for me in general. Like you can tell if I've just eaten bad food for 2 days, and by
Yeah,
bad food, it's by no means like most people's bad food, but you can just tell right away. Oh, yeah.
yeah. That's what I told Soraya when you guys were going out. I was
Yeah.
like, I have eaten like shit the last 2 days. I cannot go out. I feel horrible, like horrible.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, and in Tennessee, it's not like California, which we're so used to out here. There's not abundant healthy food,
yeah,
period.
yeah.
So, and I'd been out there for a week. So again, that's why I did that 3-day fast. I'm like, I got to get this
I'm gonna have to
in
try it.
control.
I'm gonna call you and get your tips on what you do for 3 days.
I got a lot of them because I've done 4 now, 4 or 5. And so, yeah, I've got a lot of tips, a lot of water.
A lot of water. Yeah.
Yeah, but it gets easier. The first time was 48, then I did the 36. Now I can do 36 like it's nothing. So now I'm like, maybe I should try the 4-day and just see how that goes. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
But of course, it has to go with the timing and the travel and what's going on this time of year. And can you really not do that with what you have going on?
Yeah. And I get super hungry when I travel. I don't know if you do. I
Yeah, of
don't
course.
know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, I used to be like, oh, get to the airport, get some food, or eat the food on the plane. And luckily, and especially because the airplane food has just gotten so bad and they just don't even serve it anymore. Now I've gotten more disciplined where I just won't eat airport or plane or whatever and try to plan it out a little better.
Yeah. I know. Everybody makes fun of me because I always carry my backpack everywhere. It has my food container in the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Mhm. There's no way I'm not eating. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Nice. How are you snobby about your water?
Well, I don't do tap water. No, I'm not too well, I don't know. I'm snobby about food and water, probably everything I put in my body, but
Yeah.
I make sure that I have good quality water. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, same. No, I have a high pH water thing in my house and I love it. And so I always want to do that. And recently I've just been hearing about all the microplastics and dangers about, drinking from plastic containers. So when you travel, obviously, even if you want to get your high pH water, it's going to be in a plastic bottle. So now I take my giant canteen,
Sounds
and
really
if you have your high pH water, you can go right through airport TSA and say, hey, this is my medical water.
really?
And they just test it. And I used to think they were testing the pH. So I was feeling very validated, but they're just making sure it's not an explosive at the end of the day. And they're
Yeah.
like, ah, you people in your medical water. Okay. But I just bring it through and I'll bring bags of water with me when I can, because it's kind of heavy as well. And I overpack. So I'm struggling with figuring that part out. But at the very least, I'm going to bring half a gallon of
Yeah,
water
good
with
for
me.
you. Well, they do have this one, and I've been picking this up. It's called Flow Water,
Ah,
but
okay.
it's in, yeah, I mean, I don't know, and it's alkaline.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So,
Then you don't have that plastic. That's like
yeah,
perfect.
they have them at like Whole Foods and Sprouts and stuff like that. So when I travel, I usually will go to Instacart and just have
Mhm.
my food delivered right to my door before I get there at the hotel.
Oh, that's so smart.
Mhm.
Oh man, I should start doing that with everything I've been doing with traveling. That sounds so much better. Cause like Sunday I was door dashing. I was trying to find healthy options, healthiest food. And you don't know what oils are cooking. There's just so much that goes with that. And so that's a great idea.
So a lot of people know when I travel and I go for any EOS, I usually will book or have them book me a hotel that has like an actual cook place in it, which you can
Right.
find everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, I
Love
know.
that.
Yeah.
What a great hack.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. So how many days would you say, or how many days in a month are you actually traveling?
Wow. So I probably travel at least 4 or 5 times a month.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot. Do you
Yeah.
exercise when you're out of town?
I do. I try to,
Yeah.
unless I'm extremely tired. I've learned to really listen to my body more with the shingles and not push it.
Yep.
And just like you, I'll just maybe not eat until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and then eat something later. But I try to get in like my workout. I might do like 3 days in a row hard and then travel for 2 or 3 days and not work out.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But just watch what I eat.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, I tried to do the same because when I was trying to do it all, besides the body, my mental mindset was fucked because I'm like, I got to go work out. I got to squeeze that in, even though I'm super tired. But and it was just like, what's your return on this? Is it the greatest good at this point? And luckily, like you, I've been working out so many years, I can sustain a few days without, losing all my gains, which was my driving force for the
Yeah,
first 5 years. I was so fearful that if I took a week off, I would lose my gains and I'd have to start over. I'd put on all this weight, but with enough time, you can sustain
yeah,
little breaks without losing your gains, which is pretty cool.
absolutely. Yeah. And you have the muscle maturity. So the thing is too, is that
Mm,
even if you don't work out for like a week to week and a half, if your body was used to that and you go back to the gym, it's going to come back right away. It's not like you're going to just lose it overnight, right?
yeah,
If you keep up your protein and you are very good and regimen about working out and you take a longer break, it's not going to hurt you.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I haven't competed in a year. I've lost a little bit of weight, but I still have pretty good muscle tone,
that's
you know?
amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's what I've experienced lately too. It's like, yeah, I've been on the road. It's this. I haven't done CrossFit in like 2 weeks. I'll go in the gym. I'm like, wait, I'm still lifting the same weight. How is this even possible? Like, I mean, I'm still doing other stuff,
Yeah.
rucking, so yoga, different things like this, but my strength is staying the same. And even this last time I was shocked because typically if I'm undisciplined or off my diet or not working out, I'll put on a lot of weight very quickly. But again, now I've done it so long that my body can sustain me being a little undisciplined without like all these bad results right away.
Exactly. It will just knock it out. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's actually good to have a little bit,
Yeah.
just tweak your body. Because if
Yeah.
your body's like, "What is this?" And then you
Yeah.
can actually probably lose a little bit of weight doing that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You just keep it guessing all the time. When it becomes predictable, that's when it just holds on to weight. And that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned and why I do the intermittent fasting and I switch it up all the time is I'm just trying to keep my body constantly guessing so it never gets complacent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So
So go ahead.
after you go to Emily's, where are you going after that?
Then I'm coming home. Thanksgiving, going to be here for a little while, and then I'm out to Florida, and then I'm out to Palm Springs for Ed. So,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. Good. Nice.
yeah, and then finally January, I guess we'll see all of each other in Texas.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I just want to acknowledge like the hard work you do within Apex. That's pretty awesome. You're not my coach. I was confident they were going to assign me to you because of proximity and everything that we do. And I've been with Jessica, but I hear nothing but great things about you and the things you do with your people you coach.
I love it. I love it. You know what? It's what came to me and it's my gift and I enjoy it. So, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And how's your businesses? You still have 3 businesses?
I do. So, I'm in the middle of kind of getting rid of the skin clinic,
Oh, you're
but
going to get rid of it?
I am. Yeah. I'm just traveling too much and I'm doing too much. It's just we have the electrical company. So
Yeah.
we do electrical contracting. So we do that and solar. And then I have the skincare company, and then I have the skincare company online. So that's all like the skincare products that I
Yeah.
do online. So what I decided is with merging with what I was doing, I'm gonna take the skincare, but I'm gonna do the virtual skincare consultations. So have estheticians on there to do the virtual with the skin products and do all of that. So we'll offer that, but I just can't. It's too much for me to do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's hard for us, those of us that like entrepreneurs. I mean, for me to give up on my baby or just say, I can't do it enough, or I'm tap out at capacity and something's got to give.
Yeah. But it's when we grow and expand to something different, sometimes things aren't our babies anymore, right? Like
Yeah.
I loved skincare at one point. You can ask me a million questions and I will pinpoint everything that's wrong. Like I can tell if you have problems in your gut from your skin. I can tell if you have candida overgrowth, if you have too much mucus in your body. Like I can see all of it with the skin.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But it's
We'll have to talk after this. No, I'm kidding.
no, yeah, but it's not my passion anymore, really, right?
Right.
Like I've already tapped it. I've already gone to my max there, right? And it's
Yeah.
like I want to help people more than anything else. And that was me helping them at that point.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where you're like, well, it's the same thing now. I know it all, and how do I say this? I don't always know everything. Everything's evolving,
Sure.
but I just feel, yeah. So mucus, right? If you have blackheads in your skin,
Yeah.
a lot of times it's mucus overproduction in your body.
Okay.
And so if you look at adolescent age, a lot of them have blackheads
Yeah.
from oil production, but a lot of it is from mucus in their body, which is hormone fluctuation, also what they're eating,
Mhm.
what's going on, and it's causing more of the blackheads. So when you start to see, like, I'm getting a lot of blackheads in certain areas, it really means that you have mucus productions in certain parts of your body that are happening, or you have candida or, anything like that in your body. For instance, there's this one lady,
Hmm.
love her to death. She's in her late 70s, almost 80s, and the tip of her nose was always red and vascular, and then rosacea, like pustules on it. And I know right away, like, it's the back of your throat, right?
Oh,
That's usually what triggers the tip of your nose, is the back of your throat. And it wasn't blackheads, so I know it wasn't mucus.
okay.
And I'm like, but she's older and she comes in and she doesn't drink. Like, she seems great. Like, there's no,
Right, that would be my assumption is
right?
drinking, yeah. Okay.
And then one day she came in and she said to me, I said, your skin has been looking so good the last couple of weeks. She's like, yeah, I just really cleaned up my diet and I stopped drinking. I was drinking at night. And I'm like, I knew it. Why
Yeah.
do you doubt yourself? Right. And that
Yep.
was exactly what it is. But
Mm.
yeah, there's certain parts, like on the side of your nose, it's usually your lower intestines, and the
Okay.
tip of your nose is like the back of your throat. And like the forehead, depending on what type of whiteheads, blackheads you have, that can actually be from plastics
Mm.
in your body.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so there's a lot of research. A lot of Chinese medicine is super accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I like that, and I like what you're saying because I think just like with everything, people just wanna come in, give me the right product that fixes this without, like, doing a deeper dive of what's causing it, and that's how we fix it. We can't just throw products on our face and expect it to fix the underlying condition.
And I'm not the person that will tell you you need to buy 7 products. Like, I'm going to say, these are the products that are going to help you. But other than that, you need to change this and this and this.
Yeah.
Because that's really where it comes down to. Media is bullshit.
Right.
We all know this, right? It's being out there even more, but you see all of these products. Oh, this will do this will do that. So for a cream, for instance, right? A
Yeah.
cream, a molecule is so big in a cream, there's no way it will penetrate the skin ever. Somebody tells you it's going to give you collagen, elastin, whatever it may be, total bullshit. Your
Okay.
body has to produce that within itself. The only thing it's going to do is lubricate the tissues of your skin. And if you have oily skin and you're putting moisturizer on, most likely it's going to make you break out more.
Right. Which makes sense because I like even when I'm just putting SPF on, it'll yeah, not be good.
Yeah. But it's just a
Mm.
lot of what people try to sell you is BS.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang, which is hard to navigate because you're bombarded with it because everybody's trying to sell you something and you again, you think you're doing the right things or I'm
Yeah.
gonna save money, so I'll get cheap products or I'm gonna spend a lot of money and this expensive product's gonna
Yeah.
fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always get a serum. Usually the serum molecules are small enough to where they'll penetrate and actually help your skin.
right.
But moisturizers will not.
Okay.
They'll hydrate your skin, but they won't help anything underneath the skin. Yeah.
Gosh, that is so good to know because you think about, like you were saying, teenagers and they're being bombarded with like the worst products, and nobody's saying, hey, you eat like crap, and that's contributing to this, kid.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know what they can do about the hormones. I mean, they're coming. So I don't know if this is just an unfortunate side effect that they kind of have to go through if their diet is good, but the hormones are strong.
Yeah. But if you looked back in the generations, back in the 50s, there wasn't a lot of young kids with acne.
Oh,
So, I mean, we're all going to get pimples. We're all going to break out. But a lot of times, a lot of this is our diet, it's our hormones, it's what's in our bodies now, our
yeah.
gut bacteria, like a lot of it comes from that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but and then it's also like, and I've seen this happen with many people, they do all these tests, they're told, "Okay, you're allergic to this, or you should avoid that, or you should quit doing this," and they're like, but I like those things." And
Mhm.
they're willing to pay the price
Mhm.
to not change or be disciplined, and they're willing to pay the price for it,
Yep. Yep. That's true. Yeah,
which, I mean, I guess at least at least you're now at this point making an educated decision one way or the other.
exactly. Yeah. If you're making an educated decision.
Or uneducated, or you're just literally just don't care and you're ignoring it. You just want the quick fix. And if that's not it, then you're not willing to do the work, which
That
we see a lot of.
that's so funny.
Yeah. So what does a day in your life look like? Do you have a great morning routine and a night routine throughout the day? How do you do your day?
I am a huge meditator, and I used to not be. My meditation was just like you said, I would have to go for a walk.
Yeah.
I would have to do something to keep busy. And so I started to do guiding meditations, and then it landed me to be able to do meditations for myself. That is my saving grace. I have to do that every morning. I always wake up about an hour to an hour and a half earlier than what I need to like go do or take a shower, do whatever. So I wake up about an hour, hour and a half for myself, do all my meditation. You know, depending on if I'm traveling, is really what it is. But I'm always meditating in the morning, always meditate before I go to bed.
Wow. That's great.
And I usually try to do it in the middle of the day as well. I'm really regimented to get to the gym about 3 times a week. I do Pilates once a week, and then I also do the gym routine on top of that. When I'm at home, I mean, that's really my routine. It's like morning meditation, do my work, afternoon meditation, do some more work, hit the gym, come home, be at home with my other half. And then Sundays are our day together. So we're
Yeah.
both entrepreneurs. We're both busy. I am blessed that I found a man that's like, do you, right? And we just make Sundays our day. Like we don't have date night. We just do whatever on Sundays.
That's
So
nice. Sounds
yeah.
like a great routine.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Do you still delve into personal development, either podcast, books, anything like that?
Oh, I'm always reading, always
Yeah.
reading. Oh, yeah, on everything. Business, internal work, really I've been working a lot on, we call it shadow work, which I feel like it needs to be a different word, but
Yeah.
just working through, like how I said, the cycles that we do in life or business or whatever it may be, just learning those obstacles so I can be a better leader for people, right?
Right.
But no, I always am. I love to learn.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. It
Yeah.
gets
Well,
good.
I think it has to be part of our life. Like if we ever get complacent or we think we know it all, we're just going to start going back down the other side.
Absolutely. We don't know it all. We learn so much from different people.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And I do a lot of courses and classes. I still train. So for instance, in December, I'm going to leave for a week and I'm going to San Diego and I'm going to take a class that is going to actually teach me how to listen to people properly in a certain way and how I speak to them on their language. And it will help me for speaking engagements and walk me through how to more or less
Hmm.
work with somebody's interactions of how they talk, like reading it a little better. And it's a week-long class in depth.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so I'm excited about that. So I'm going to do that. So no, I mean, we always have to keep educating ourselves. And then
Sure.
read.
Wow. So the learning how they speak, is that like the love languages, or is it a totally different sort of philosophy?
So I think it's a different philosophy because it's more business orientated, but
Okay.
he says that it does help with your personal relationships as well. But a lot of times when people speak to you,
Yeah.
they really are talking to you, and we're not educated enough to really reel in exactly what they're trying to say, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times people are very emotional about things, and you can pull up little triggers with what they're talking about to hone in your conversation for them. And
Yeah.
so that's really what I'm going to be going in and learning on. and learning on a little bit more self-development,
Mhm.
and, how to carry myself in certain situations. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'll let you know more about it.
Yeah, please do. It sounds super
They're in
intriguing because, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in, 1,000 different masterminds. I'm learning from everybody all the time, but this sounds like something very applicable to obviously what I do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. They're actually in Apex. So it's
Oh,
Nathan
wow.
Rossi. I don't know if you know who he is, but they have that. So I'm gonna go do that for a week. I'm their EOS implementer. And so they're like, you should really do this. And I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Hey,
So
and there's definitely worse places to be than San Diego. So
right.
I
I know.
love it down there.
But they told me it was a whole week, and I was like, oh, like I haven't taken off a whole week to go somewhere before in a while.
Yeah, that seems pretty extreme. I mean, that's got to be a ton of content,
I
honestly, for to fill a whole week.
And the classes are from 1 to 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, wow.
So you have the morning to get work done, but then
Okay.
it's full on 1 to 8. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely let me know how that goes. I'm assuming they do this throughout the year and
Yeah.
whatnot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They do the week long,
Mm,
and then I think they do 3-day ones, but they really only want you to do the 3 days after you do like the week implementation. So
okay, cool.
yeah, I'll let you
Yeah,
know.
I'm excited. Well, let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I will.
Cool. So as you may know, the name of my show is Going Rogue with Angie Manson. And so I like to ask everybody who comes on, was there a point in your life where going rogue was the right thing for you to do?
I think in every aspect of my life.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, but I still like to give you the opportunity if one pops out.
Absolutely. Every corner.
Nothing specific, just it all.
No, I've had a lot of shit that has happened in my life.
Yeah,
But when you look back at it and you think, you know what? Just getting through that, the learning lessons, the pushing through, the not taking anybody's shit, always going forward, never stopping,
yeah,
um, never giving up, never being a victim, that's where it comes down to. So it's like I've had a lot, so I can't pinpoint just one. It's been
sure.
a lot,
For
but
sure.
that's what makes you and I who we are,
Right.
because we don't give up and we just keep doing it and keep doing what we need to do. And we follow
Well, yeah, and I think, like you mentioned, with your ex-husband and just different people try and tell us, "This is what you need to do. This is the box you need to go into. This is how it's supposed to be. Why are you, like, not following along?" And
Yeah,
us being who we are, we're like, "'Cause I don't wanna do that, and that doesn't seem right, and you're not gonna tell me to do that." And it
yeah,
creates that fire in us to be different than everybody else and not follow the herd and do what everybody else is doing.
yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, there is this one time with my son, he was being a little shit, and that was when I was going through my second divorce, and he was 16 or 17. And I mean, he was very, very not nice. And I remember my mother at that time saying, I cannot believe you just did that. And I said, go to your dad's. If you're going to disrespect me in my home, go to your dad's. And my mom was just beside herself that I would not work with my son and figure it out. And I'm like, no, I don't handle disrespect. You're out. And it took him a year of living with his father to understand,
Wow.
and he came back crying profusely and writing me notes every day of what a great mom I am. But you know what? You have to be that person, and you have to follow that instinct you have within yourself. We all have it.
Yeah.
And we all dismiss it. But that is the actual conversation God, whomever you believe in, is telling you what you should do, and you should follow it. It never lies.
Yeah. And it's usually not the comfortable thing, the
No.
easy thing, in some people's mind, the right thing, but it is the thing that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Even if it scares you
yeah.
and you're fearful,
Yeah.
it usually is the goddamn right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, we go through that a lot with families, and you have the addict who wants to leave treatment and the family's trying to be strong, but then they start sort of giving in. And it's like, listen, I know everything in you is saying save this child, but this is how you save the child. Like you've got to be strong for both of you and not let that happen.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of people out there that can be strong.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and especially in these last few years when we've been pushed towards it's okay to be soft. Like you don't have to be strong. It's okay to be easy and soft and comfortable.
But when you can be strong and listen to yourself, that's when all the good shit happens. That's when all the good stuff comes into your life
Right.
because you did what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
You listened to the upstairs or, God, whomever, you listen to that voice. And then they recognize with the fact of you did what I asked you to do, even though it was hard. Here is your praise.
Yeah.
You get the good stuff.
Yeah.
That's what people need to understand. You have to go through that to
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah, which takes integrity, which a lot of people would rather be, self-accepted from the people they know for doing what they're being told than
Mhm.
having the integrity to say, fine, you don't like it, you don't want to be with
Yeah.
me or my friend after this. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
I absolutely admire you as a strong, independent woman, leading the way, showing everybody else how to do it and how to be strong and not compromise. And I'm really grateful for you, and really grateful you came on the show today.
Grateful that you asked me to.
Yeah, awesome. So,
Literally, I stood up getting all of this ready, and then I was so impressed. My other half last night, he brought in the couch, he brought in and so today I got it all. I was like, oh, thank God.
looks great. Looks like it's been there all along. It's perfect.
I wish.
So, if our followers want to get a hold of you, or when they want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah. So on Instagram, Jen Carrasco, 2 underscores, Facebook, Jennifer Carrasco, YouTube, Jennifer Carrasco. It's pretty easy. My website's Jen Carrasco.
Perfect, and we'll have it in the show notes, so you just have a click away.
Pretty easy. Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you again for coming on this show, and definitely looking forward to the retreat.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll be talking soon, and I'll let you know when this airs so that you can, listen, like, share, do all that fun stuff.
I will do that. And I'll see you in Apex.
All
Okay.
right, thanks, Jen.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye. Hold on one sec. We're just gonna stop recording.
Okay.
Cool.